Ever sat in your car after work for a minute because you didn't quite have the energy to walk back into your own life? You're not in crisis, but something's not fitting, and the longer you ignore it, the harder it gets to name. Most find your dream career content is either fortune cookie advice or quit everything and live your truth theater. This video is neither. In the next few minutes, I'll explain why I don't know what I want is actually a useful signal, not a personal defect. What's specifically missing, a real audit framework, and how to test new directions without quitting your job in a panic. First, let's reframe. Feeling lost in your career isn't a personal failing. It's almost always a signal that something specific is missing. And once you can name that thing, the lost feeling stops being a vague fog and starts being a question you can answer. Psychologists have a useful framework for this. It's called self-determination theory, and it identifies 3 psychological needs that have to be met for work to feel meaningful. First one, autonomy. The sense that you have meaningful control over how you do your work. Not necessarily what you do, but how you do it. When autonomy is missing, even good work feels like serving someone else's plan. Second one, competence. The sense that you're using your real skills, not the watered down versions that fit your job description. When competence is missing, you feel underused. You start thinking, I could be doing more, but no one's asking me to. And lastly, relatedness. The sense that you're connected to a team or a mission you actually care about. When relatedness is missing, even high-paying, high-status work starts to feel hollow. Most people who feel lost are missing 1 or 2 of these, not all 3. Their job isn't broken, it's off in a specific way. And the work of figuring out your next move starts with identifying which one. So, how do you actually run that audit on yourself? 3 layers. Most people skip at least 2 of them and wonder why their career change attempts keep landing them in similar versions of the same problem. Layer 1. Personality. Your personality is the lens you experience every workday through. Same job, 2 people, completely different experiences. If you're high in introversion and high in conscientiousness, an open-plan chaotic startup will quietly grind you down, even if the work itself is fascinating. The research-backed model worth using here is the Big 5: openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, neuroticism. These aren't categorical types like the popular personality tests, they're spectrums, and they correlate strongly with what kind of environment you'll actually thrive in. Layer 2, values. This one is the layer most people skip. You can love the tasks of a job and still be miserable in the role because the values don't match. If you value stability and you're at a volatile early-stage startup, the work itself can be perfect and the job will still hurt you. Make 2 short lists. Your must-haves, the things a role has to give you, and your deal breakers, the things that quietly grind you down even when everything else looks good. Pay, flexibility, autonomy, mission, commute, hierarchy. Be specific. Be honest with yourself about what you actually need, not what you think you should need. The 3rd layer, transferable skills. Most people undersell themselves here because they think their skills are tied to their job title. They're not. If you've worked in retail, you have crisis management and customer success skills. If you've taught, you have public speaking and project management skills. If you've worked in admin, you have operations and logistics skills. List what you actually do day to day, not what your title says you do. Those are the building blocks of the next thing. When you have all 3 layers, personality, values, skills, you stop asking, what job should I have? And start asking the better question, what kind of environment, mission, and use of skills would I actually thrive in? That's a question you can answer. But knowing the answer in theory doesn't mean leaping. There's a smarter way to test it. This is the part most career advice skips, and it's why so many big career pivots don't work. People go from, I don't know what I want, to, I quit and signed up for a boot camp in one panicked weekend. There's a smarter way. Treat your career change like a hypothesis. You don't know yet whether the new direction will fit. You only think it might. So before you bet the house on it, gather evidence. There are 3 low-risk ways to do this. 1. Informational interviews. Find people who already do the job you're curious about and ask to chat. Not, can you help me get hired? Just 20 minutes of honest questions. Ask 3 things. What's the most frustrating part of your day? What skills actually matter? If you could start over, would you do this again? You'll learn more in 3 conversations than from a year of Googling. 2. Small side projects. If you think you want to be a copywriter, write 4 articles on Medium. If you think you want to design, take a free weekend course and build something. The point isn't to become professional overnight. The point is to find out whether the actual work, not the romantic idea of the work, engages you when no one is paying you to do it. 3. Strategic shadowing. Volunteer for a project at your current job that resembles the kind of work you're curious about. Cross-functional teams, internal innovation projects, freelance-style internal moves. You get a controlled taste without the financial risk. Every one of these methods gives you data, real data, not, "I read an article about this once." And after a few weeks of evidence gathering, the picture either gets clearer or it changes entirely. Both outcomes are good, the only bad outcome is leaping blind. But what if you're worried you don't have the experience to make the leap at all? The experience gap is the wall most career changers hit. You see a job description, it asks for 5 years of experience in something you've never done, and you think, well, that's that. Here's what actually matters. Most experience requirements are translation problems, not qualification problems. You don't usually need a new degree. You usually need to reframe what you already have. An old line on your CV might say, "Helped onboard new hires on my team." The translated version: designed and ran the team's new hire onboarding program. Same work, same person, wildly different reading. The skills you've built in your current role are almost certainly more portable than your job title suggests, but only if you describe them in the language of the role you're moving toward. And where there's a genuine gap, a specific tool, a specific certification, you don't always need to go back to school. Micro-certifications, short online courses, and portfolio projects can close most skill gaps in weeks, not years. A data analysis certificate, a weekend coding intensive, a small portfolio of 3 real projects. These signal, "I'm serious and I've already started," which often matters more to a hiring manager than a degree that says, "I learned the theory 5 years ago." So the path is reframe your existing experience honestly, identify the actual gap, not the imagined one, and close that gap with the minimum credential that gets you in the door. Not 5 years of preparation, 3 months of targeted action. All of this works better when you start from a clear picture of what fits you, which is the one piece most people skip. Here's the piece almost everyone gets wrong. Most people who feel lost in their career start by opening LinkedIn or a job board. That's not discovery, that's application. You're sorting through pre-built options that someone else defined, hoping one of them turns out to be yours. Discovery is the opposite. It's starting from who you actually are, your personality, your values, your skills, the environments you thrive in, and working outward toward roles that fit. Not the other way around. Discovery comes first, application comes later. That's what I built CareerSeeker AI for. It's a discovery tool, not an application tool. You answer questions about how your brain works, what matters to you, and how you operate at your best. The AI takes that, your actual profile, not a job title you typed in, and generates career suggestions personalized to you, including paths you might not have heard of. It takes about 10 minutes. There's no account, no email, no login. And to be clear, I'm not promising the quiz will tell you exactly what to do with the next decade of your life. What it will do is give you a clearer starting point than scrolling job listings has ever given anyone. A first move from data, not from anxiety. If you've been sitting in the car after work wondering about your future more often than you'd like to admit, if you're not in crisis but quietly know something is off, that's not a failure. That's a signal, and now you have language for it. Figure out which need is missing. Autonomy, competence, or relatedness. Run the 3-layer audit. Test small before you leap. Reframe what you already have and start from who you are, not from what's listed on a job board. You can begin with the CareerSeeker AI quiz. Links below. No commitment, just a clearer picture. If this helped, hit subscribe for more videos like this one. And if someone in your life would recognize themselves in this, send it their way. Talk again soon.